Throughout the history of horror, we as an audience have flocked to films as an escapist type of morbid curiosity for the unknown. Even with faith, we're walking the line of what we can and cannot understand as an audience. It is that curiosity that drives anxiety and gets the blood flowing in more ways than one. For our collection of films this year for 31 on 31, we scale through time, covering revolutionary films who have danced from belief to skepticism. Some of the better ones have got us to question just how much either side can do to one's psyche, especially in films of this nature. What you can't see won't hurt you. What you can see, well, surely there's a reasonable explanation for it. But this collection of films asks the question, whether or not you believe, what are you going to do now that it's here, and a problem you must come to terms with? In this collection of unholy terrors is a gathering of 31 films, which have notoriety as well as infamy, spanning over decades of our history. The question this year is not whether or not you believe in any of these stories, but just how scared are you? Welcome to 31 on 31, the 2021 edition, Unholy Terrors.
It's here again. It feels like it's been a year, but with COVID, it feels like it's been a lifetime. So, welcome back. I come to you as always as CP, otherwise known as Charles. This is the fourth annual 31 on 31, and it seems as a regular group, we're kind of settled in. The Autopstream crew, Bryan Lomax, yours truly, and the creator of this little shindig, Cody Leach, are all making videos this year. And once again, Sean Chandler of Sean Chandler Talks About is joining us. He seems to be the honorary Autopstreamee due to COVID. We'll blame it on COVID, but the more the merrier, unless you're somebody else. Also, if you're an asshole like me, the way you judge this block of 31 is creepy little kids and Patrick Wilson. Oddly enough, we're not covering hard candy this year. Or for that matter, little children. Does Patrick Wilson have something he needs to tell us? But yes, please, by all means, check the Cody Leach channel. He has a playlist with every single 31 and 31 that is approved by the Autopstream crew. We can't speak on Filmman 0726's 31 on 31, even though some people out there are doing 31 on 31 and don't understand what the two numbers mean, and they're covering like 13 movies on July 8th. 31 franchise films on the 31st, Halloween. That's it, guys. Pretty simple. At least I thought. Without further ado, let's get into it. Patrick Wilson, Creepy Kids, Unholy Terrors, as brought to you by WILIscredia and his ranking. WILIscredia is me, by the way. My name's not Will. Please stop asking.
Sentencia perspicuas en es.
31.
Number 31, and in an absolute shock to nobody, is The Exorcist II, Heretic, or The Heretic, Exorcist 2, or wow, the first one worked, let's dump a shitload of money and start doing sci-fi shit. I don't have much to say about this. There's like 1,000 videos on the internet talking about how terrible this movie is. It's terrible. It really is terrible. And the sci-fi vibe is just so strange. Like the studying center that they spend most of the film in is so strange. There's some prehistoric Inception shit going on there. So points for that. The incredibly bizarre thing about this film is Linda Blair's character, for about half of the movie, spends most of the time just feeling up Nurse Ratched from One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, which, I mean, we've all thought of it. So kudos to Linda Blair for actually meeting our dreams. But it just seems a bit excessive at times. And then Linda Blair and Linda Blair's stunt double or double exposure feels her up twice. Nurse Ratched's left tit is gotta be sanded down after filming that movie. Just such an odd thing. Even if it were just a 2-minute scene, it's still way too much. And they do it a lot. And I mean a lot. And yeah, that's all I remember about this movie. Nurse Ratched getting felt up by Linda Blair, where the hand could have been 6 inches higher over on a pad or something. Just lay your hand on my tit. I think that's what the Bon Jovi song is actually about.
Lay your hands on me. Lay your hands on me.
30.
Book of Shadows, Blair Witch 2, the one that has no Book of Shadows. That one. The one guy I do recognize, Jeffrey Donovan, he's still acting to this day, actually getting work somehow. Good for him. Either playing a cop or a really bad guy. He was just in Wrath of Man as a bad guy, and Honest Thief as an FBI agent. That's not really a cop, but you know what I mean. I don't see any need for anybody to watch this movie, genuinely. At least on the Heretic's concern. If you ever wanted to jack off to Nurse Ratched, you have some material there. Blair Witch 2, well, I guess if you want to jack off to a girl with hair planted to her nipples, there's that. A movie that makes no sense. And the other thing I noticed that I think Cody is playing a sick joke on me is we should keep a marker how many films where there's a hanging in the film. This is the first film so far on the list where somebody gets hung via rope. Spoiler. But yeah, I wouldn't recommend it to anybody. You literally could go never seeing this movie and not miss any of the lineage that is Blair Witch.
29.
Number 29, Omen 4. Does it have a subtitle? Yeah, The Awakening. The caveat to the no TV movie clause here in 31 on 31. Omen 4 premiered as a TV film. And sometimes we just need to shoehorn to get 31. If I had a choice, I would have shoehorned Omen 4 out to get the TV version of The Shining in, even though that's a mini series for you actually people. This is a typical 90s child actor in all its glory. There's nothing I can't stand more than child actors from the 90s. The good news is they all seem to grow up to blossom rather well. The movie is not a horror film. It's doofy at best, obnoxious at worst. There's no tone to it. There's no mood. It's shot like a goddamn comedy. Everything's just so flat. Did I watch it in 4:3 actually? I don't even think it's in widescreen, if I'm not mistaken. I could be mistaken. I just could be drunk too. There's that. The movie's just not good. This could have been the prequel to Problem Child, or if you wanted to be woke in today's day and age and regender Problem Child, just push out Omen 4 and don't tell anybody how old it is, and see how many people buy it as a remake of Problem Child. I've said Problem Child way too many times now.
28.
Number 28, Poltergeist 3. Only 2 actors from the previous films returned for this production, and one of them died before this movie was released to theaters. That's incredibly morbid, a joke, but that poor girl worked her ass off while sick for this. Holy shit. Poltergeist in a Chicago high-rise where they really don't care about explaining to you why. I mean, they kind of throw it in passing that, oh, what's the girl's name again?
Carol Ann.
Carol Ann.
Yeah, her. Somehow, she's like the cousin's best friend's neighbor once removed, and she's staying with her mother's sister who's married to her landlord, or it got way too convoluted, and it just they sort of retcon, and it makes you wonder, well, where the fuck were these people the first time, and what happened to the sister? They don't tell you what happened to the sister because she's literally dead too in real life. Don't make Poltergeist movies. Oh, and the movie sucked. Like, really sucked. There's that too.
27.
Number 27 is the Omen 3, subtitled The Final Conflict. Keep in mind, this is the prequel to The Awakening. Omen 4. Horror movies will never learn. Don't put the word final in your title. Yeah, if I were a horror film producer, I'd be more inclined to use the word cunt than I would final. At least in that case, it can't bite me in the ass. Well, unless it's the movie Teeth, then, well, spoiler. Omen 3, starring Sam Neill, of all people. Oddly enough, it was quite shocking to see him in this movie, and it was even more shocking to see him just chew the scenery, his clothes, the script. He almost literally chewed a statue of Jesus Christ. He monologues, and wow, that's some powerful stuff right there. You sure this wasn't meant to be on television for people who were awake at 3 o'clock in the morning after C-SPAN? Woof. And you can tell their influences, and they half-assed it. If you're gonna do the scene from The Warriors, you're the son of Satan. Like, put some oomph into it.
Do you hear me? Can you dig it?
26.
Number 26 is The Nun, which is just how much I want to see this movie again. Nun. Good to see that Fabrizio from Titanic still getting work, though. That was a nice little pleasant thing to see.
There's entities way.
I wasn't a big fan of the nun character in Conjuring 2, and the tone is all over the place because the Fabrizio character is a little too goofy. It's a shame because the set design is that of like a classic Dracula movie, and then you have these dumb derpy derp jokes that are thrown in there. It just doesn't match what they're trying to do, and it's a Conjuring extended universe movie, so it's jump scares, hands in walls, crosses doing funky things. You know, I created a series a couple of years back begging and pleading for horror films to take a page out of the Marvel book and start doing cinematic universes. This was, at the time, there was only one Conjuring movie. And if stuff like this is what we're gonna get, then I made a horrible error.
25.
Number 25 is Dominion, the prequel to The Exorcist. And I'm just gonna say it right now.
24.
Is The Exorcist the beginning? Because they're 90% the same fucking movie, neither of which are worth anybody's time. I cannot believe a movie studio saw this and said, fuck it, this is trash. Let's split it up and Twilight Breaking Dawn this shit. Holy fuck. Again, this is a movie that, if you told me, CP, it's way worse than The Nun. I can't argue with you. I don't know. I guess the one reason I have it above other movies is I'm curious to watch the differences in the movies, but there's a lot of similarities, and yeah.
23.
Number 23, Insidious, The Final Key. Lin Shaye, the Sherry Moon zombie of New Line Cinema, with way more range. I'm not the biggest fan of the Insidious movies, I will say that outright, because I feel like it's kind of, I don't know, it just feels plotting. It feels very samey to me, especially in a time where the Conjuring is really setting things up and horror's taking things in new directions, and then you have Insidious, which is I don't know, making money. They made 4 of them, so what the fuck do I know? So yeah, I'm just not the biggest fan of Insidious. Even though, well, we'll get to the one thing I like about Insidious in a little bit.
22.
The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It, which isn't that the title? Couldn't that be the title of all the Conjuring movies? Isn't every single movie in the Conjuring series have to do with the devil possessing? Much like my disdain and weariness of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, the Conjuring Cinematic Universe seems to be getting a little tired. It needs to take a nap or slow down or reinvigorate itself or all of the above. But The Conjuring 3, I'm not calling it by its fucking title, was least effective. I'm not really a big jump scare guy, and there's half of the movies on this list is just, the power of the jump scare. And then the other half are movies that really are legendary to pop culture. And The Conjuring 3 will never be accused of being legendary. A lot of the movies spent on Patrick Wilson's Ed and Lorraine. What the hell is her last name? Fuck it, doesn't matter. Based on real people. And if you look into the real people, these movies get way less interesting, trust me. Like, he has an event in the movie and we're spending a lot more time with him, and it's actually like dramatic. I do constantly whine about stakes in horror movies, or most movies. And it certainly could be argued that what the Patrick Wilson character, Ed, is going through installs a bit of stakes for the movie by the third act, and I'll give you that argument. It perhaps makes certain things a bit more interesting if I were still awake by then.
21.
(1999's) The Blair Witch Project. And there might be nostalgia in this, because do I want to watch this movie again? Probably not. Everybody who's a generation older than me talks about The Exorcist, like, oh my God, it was the scariest thing, blah, blah, blah. And the generation before them talk about Psycho. I worked at a movie theater. It was like one of my first jobs. One of the first things I had to do as a working, tax-paying American was fucking put people's vomit into buckets because they couldn't handle the camera in Blair Witch Project. But it was an experience. It was something new. Is it entertaining? No. If you watch it now the way it is, no. But it's revolutionary for a bunch of reasons. The way film gets marketed now, they did some incredible things. They weren't the first. Shout out to Cannibal Holocaust. You just knew you were part of something watching that movie back then and not knowing if it was real. Now, of course, you know it's not real. And now, of course, you have all the copycats and paranormal activities and all that other shit, and shaky cam, which is funny. I have this movie ahead of 10 movies, and I hate shaky cam. So I fucking hate the other 10 movies. The other thing that the Blair Witch Project taught us was, if you have less than 10 grand, a couple of cameras, and people willing enough to film something, you have a lottery ticket. You can go out and film and make a movie. And now with the internet, people are really using those lotto tickets. And boy, is there a lot of Blair Witch Project type influenced shit to sift through. God bless the fan film community.
20.
La Llorona. Excuse me. The Curse of La Llorona. Part of the Conjuring cinematic universe. I watched this early. Didn't take notes. I had it placed. It's here. We're at the fuck it part of the list. It was forgettable, clearly, because I've forgotten a lot about it. Is it necessary? No. Is there better things to watch? Shit, in this category, yes. Is there better things to watch that came out that year? Yes. Is there better things to watch that came out that month? Yes. Are there better horror movies that probably came out that same day? Arguable. Yet it's fucking 20 on this list. Fuck you, Cody.
19.
Annabelle Comes Home, which the Annabelle movies were the ones that I really tossed and turned, which means I deliberated for 38 seconds. These movies are so interchangeable. This could be my favorite movie next week. It's quite strange. Rewatched it right before doing this, and I just, there's elements of the movie that I don't like. Bunch of kids in the movie. Hey, there's that. Let's carry that theme of this year's 31 and 31. I don't know. I remember being a kid. I remember hanging out with curious kids. When something was padlocked 6 or 7 times, and there's just a bunch of junk in a room, I never thought, hey, let me just spread my fingers all about it and whatever. You know, I was looking for toys. Is there a video game in here? I don't know. The closest moment that I saw to perhaps real youth being stupid was there was a stack of coins, and I was like, yes, steal them and spend them, and curse the whole fucking town with your wicked Annabelle money. But no, she just spreads them around, picks one up and puts it back, and Annabelle bangs her head 3 or 4 times, and then fucking shit hits the fan. Much like other Annabelle movies. There's a lot of movies in this list where there's a thing that's causing some shit to happen, but the thing itself isn't doing the shit. Captivating.
18.
Number 18, speaking of captivating, Poltergeist 2015, Sam Rockwell. Who do you owe money to? What happened? What's funny is when I saw Poltergeist in 2015, I remember thinking, this is absolute shit. And then here I am halfway through watching these 31 movies, and I binged the Poltergeist franchise and was really nervous to watch Poltergeist 2015, and then remembered that I had already seen the Omen franchise prior to Poltergeist 2015. I had already seen Exorcist 2 prior to Poltergeist 2015. I had already seen the Blair Witch Book of Shadows prior to Poltergeist 2015. Little heavy on the clown shit. They took some parts out of the original that really kind of neuter things. Sam Rockwell, he tries. He's still Sam Rockwell. It's not his best work, but fucker's trying to carry this fucking thing. I think we're at the part of the list where it's like, I don't know. You could do worse. You could do better.
17.
Time to go on a remake boo quote spree. Number 17 is Blair Witch. It seems modern enough to play on the Blair Witch Project, which if you're a fan of the Blair Witch Project, Blair Witch is not your movie. There's a very, very ginormous difference in quality of film. Blair Witch, these college students sure have expensive equipment to film with. I don't know how they're filming in Dolby Surround with those fucking Bluetooth ear cameras, but whatever. It's got moments that make you say, what the fuck, these characters are stupid. But welcome to horror. The second the two townsfolk play games with the stick figures, sorry, the tour's over, we're not doing this anymore. But no, they keep going, and a centipede crawls out of a young lady's leg, and they keep going, and this guy's looking for his sister from 20 years ago, because she wouldn't be dead, married with grandkids, or dead by then. I would watch this again. I'd certainly watch Blair Witch over Blair Witch Project, which is a fucking curse to some people, but it really isn't horrible. Not great. It's not good. And we're about halfway through this list. Ugh.
16.
The Omen 2006. File under Psycho 1998 category. Oh, I've lost track. Put another one on the hanging via rope category. They emulate that. This is all for you, Daniel. Seeing Daniel. Be a much better movie if his name was Daniel, wouldn't it? If you're in the mood to watch the original Omen, but want a little high definition better sound, shittier child acting. Maybe watch 2006. There's not much that's different, but I don't know. They changed one of the dogs, so if you're a Rottweiler fan, you might be a little pissed at the new version with that black wolf. I don't know. It looks like a fucking golden retriever, but black clad. I don't know. It's got wolf ears, whatever the fuck. They're all demons, those fucking things. And I don't mean by the movie sense. Anything that's not a French bulldog can kiss my ass.
15.
Number 15 is Annabelle. What a neat idea. Not even a talking doll. That's child's play. Fuck. Where was that list? Can we do that one again instead? Haunted doll makes people around it do crazy shit. For the same reasons I have a problem with Comes Home. The first time it's a neat idea. I'm just not somebody who is a big fan of, ooh, look, my hand is making people kill, but it's not my hand that's killing. But oh man, if you look at my hand the right way, this is haunted. I'm just realizing that these next 4 or 5 movies is literally the fuck it list. I don't hate them, but I certainly don't like them, and it's just this was a very either hard or easy list to make this year because it didn't matter. Like at this point, from 16 through 11, switch them. I'll close my eyes and you could switch the list, and I would believe that I put it there. So let's get going in a 5-way tie for 11th/16th place.
14.
Insidious 3, the Patrick Wilson Lin Shaye show continues with a lead actress that I've never heard of and haven't seen since, and I'm probably old enough to be her father. You're going to be really striving for content over the next few minutes. But look, I've got all this cute fucking nifty shit around, so don't worry about what's coming out of here. Look at all this stuff, huh? Nice. Nobody else is going to do that, especially fucking Bryan, you hack.
13.
Annabelle Creation. And I think I put it here because it was unique to see a prequel story of sorts. Hats off to movie studios for making shit scary and all that jazz, because if you knew the real the real Annabelle, I don't even know if it's an Annabelle, it's a fucking Raggedy Ann, Raggedy Andy, those things are not scary. You could get me the real Annabelle and I'd fucking sleep with the fucking thing. And I'm not saying sleep with the way you're thinking, I would fuck it.
12.
Insidious Chapter 2. I don't know, is there something funny that happened during that movie that I can just fucking cut to for you guys? Because I'm dead serious when I tell you 16 through 11, I have like very little input. I tell you what, if you want straightforward questions about a particular scene or something, I know it seems like I'm just fucking throwing spaghetti at the wall and saying, yeah, no, this sucks, this is good, this is bad. But I really, there's nothing to these movies. This is a category where I wouldn't bend over backwards to watch movies. In this list of I might go grab 7 of these movies. And then I was forced to sit through 24 more. Are we ever going to do Star Wars for 31 and 31? No. What was I saying?
11.
Number 11, The Conjuring 2. This is high, especially considering how much I fucking do not like the nun character. There was a lot of really neat scenes. The crosses on the wall. However predictable that scene was, the nun in that movie was scary. The nun in the movie, the nun with the fucking weird antics, sucks. But I really, really wish The Conjuring 2 was about the opening, the Amityville house, not the fucking Amityville movies that you people are talking about. I live 10 minutes away from the actual house. Somebody murdered 5 members of their family in that house. In real life, Ronnie DeFeo, and he just died recently, so that puts that to rest. Luckily, there won't be any more Amityville movies, huh? But I didn't get my Conjuring universe Amityville movie, but okay, The Nun, cool. This is still pretty early in the Conjuring CU, so I wasn't tired quite yet. This is like, I don't know, as far as the Conjuring is concerned, this is like around when the Avengers came out for the Marvel Cinematic Universe, where it's like, yeah, all right, this is pretty good. This is neat. They're going places with this stuff. We're not quite at La Rona yet. Llorona? How does LL come out to be Llorona? Player for the Mets named Bobby Borilla? Ah, fuck it.
10.
Number 10, Poltergeist 2, subtitled The Other Side, although, what other side? What, on the plastic phone? The whole family's together, except the sister, who was really distraught about her younger sister getting all jacked up in the first Poltergeist. But with respect, this is the equivalent of Fast and the Furious, just kind of writing Paul Walker's character out. The actress who played the sister, unfortunately, had passed, and you know, just let your mind run loose. Maybe she ran away with her boyfriend. It was good to see the cast return, especially Craig T. Nelson and I don't know, whatever her name was, the pothead parents from the first Poltergeist. And Grandma, who is there for seconds. She was there to make a phone call on a plastic toy phone, and then she was gone. And then a creepy man was in the movie. Also, Chief. Apparently he saved the family to steal a car. A lot better than 21 other movies on this list. Poltergeist 1 and 2 I enjoyed. Then stop.
9.
Number 9, Insidious. Patrick Wilson. The first one, really neat. Jump scares, I can deal with them to a certain degree. And when you make the character look like Darth Maul, I'm in. It would have been better if he actually was Darth Maul. I've heard a lot of people say that this isn't even close to their favorite Insidious. I enjoyed it. You know, I never saw these movies and only recently binged them, which again, if you've watched me do these in the past, binging isn't always the right thing to do for this, but I just felt it'd get a bit more prodding and needless. So the first Insidious is my favorite, and I enjoyed it enough to put it in my top 10.
8.
the Omen, the original Omen, the 1970s edition Omen. Those of you keeping track at home, chalk one up on the hanging via rope. Perhaps this is the first film where somebody's hung via rope. All for you, Damien. It's a movie that, you know, if you watch the 2006 version first, it may not play as well. I fortunately did see the first Omen first before seeing the 2006 version. I would imagine folks who are more faith-based would find this much more scary and I mean, to be honest, we really don't know what could be in the afterlife, and that itself is horror, scary. It's not my favorite Omen film though. I will get to what it is about the Omen that I like, the one moment in the Omen that I appreciate. And again, this is binging, and this is bad. When I first saw this, I was Catholic, and I was scared out of my mind to the idea of this movie and the possibilities of there being a real life Damien with a bunch of nines on his head. But you know, seeing it as an adult again, you know, some of the punch is worn off, but it's still a rather powerful movie. It's not just about a devil kid. There's much more nuance and other things happening in the film. I need to burp.
7.
Damien, the Omen 2. Is it the Omen 2? No. The. It's Damien Omen 2, which I really liked. I don't remember seeing it younger. Just recently rewatched it in the last 2 months or so. And the more I've sat on it, the more I've really enjoyed the idea of what they were putting across. I got some serious puberty vibes with the Damien character, a young boy growing up and dealing with changes in his life that he's not really prepared for. And consider who this Damien character is in this little universe here. I felt like it was a giant inverse story of the Jesus Christ story, because those of you who are versed in the JC character, person, I didn't mean to say character, apologies, know that he had a struggle when he was told that he was the Son of God. So I found there to be parallels, inverted as they be, in this movie, and I thought that was quite neat. And ultimately, our character certainly embraces his destiny, but the moment where he goes out to that dock where Fredo gets shot, that was a pretty powerful scene. I had quite a decent time with that. And it's a movie that the more I think about it, the more I like it. So, get back to me in a year or 6, and it might be higher. But I actually like Omen 2 more than Omen. Plus, I don't think there was any hangings in this movie.
6.
Number 6, The Conjuring. Get your scorecard out. The poster has a fucking noose on it. All right, Cody, I get it. I'm off the team. No, the first Conjuring, which came out in 2013, at a time where horror was really, I don't want to say desperate, but all we had was like Paranormal Activity and Saw. Like, that's what horror was when The Conjuring came out. And The Conjuring was just classic scare, fucking jump scare, if you will, mood, tone, all of that shit. The one thing, tension, just everything that you'd want from a horror movie. James Wan knows what the fuck he's doing, and I really, really had a good time with this movie. If you asked me back then if it were to become a multi-film universe, how I'd feel about it, I would have said, yeah, bring more of this on. And also, if you asked me back then how life would be going, I would have told you, yeah, fine. What else can be possibly going wrong with me? Father Time's a fickle bitch.
Number 5.
Number 5 is La Exorcisto, or The Exorcist. Another movie that, again, probably rests on its laurels of pop culture legend more than the story itself. It's a very fine, very well-made movie. Some of the scarier stuff in The Exorcist is actually in the director's cut that they only released in 2000. Like, most people don't know that stairway thing, that's fucking creepy as fuck when she does that spider crawl down the stairs. That wasn't in the original. And people were puking at the idea of a girl peeing her pants on steps. Can you imagine if they watched a fucking girl crawl upside down on a fucking steps where she had just urinated? Man, people were dumb in the 70s. Thank God they didn't see this shit. But to the movie itself, it's quite an experience. And again, first saw it as a baptized, confirmed young Catholic boy. It meant a hell of a lot more to me then than it does now. I'm not saying that I don't believe certain things. I like to call myself an agnatheist. I don't know. I'm hoping that something is going on in the afterlife. It's really none of your business. But for the sake of enjoyment of these movies, especially stuff like The Exorcist, Passion of the Christ, you have a different investment going into movies like that. And even as an adult watching it again, it's still a very powerful movie. And if you don't believe me, look at old school video clips. I mean, there's only a handful of movies that have this like pop culture, like just phenomenon. Film, you have the story of people waiting to see Star Wars. That was the big one. Psycho, the genius that is Alfred Hitchcock in how to market a movie. And I don't know why nobody has capitalized on reigniting how to market a movie. Blair Witch Project greatly used the internet to its advantage. Hitchcock said, listen, you're not allowed to watch my movie if you're going to show up late. What a fucking thing to say. Listen, I'm giving you the money. If I want to watch the movie 45 minutes late, I'm going to do that. It's my cash. Do you want it or not? And Hitchcock said, fuck you, you wait. And they waited, and they were horrified. Star Wars, they knew nothing but a teaser, a picture of space, maybe a couple of scenes, terrible edited trailers from the 70s lining up around the corners. The Exorcist, people just I'm telling you, there's clips on YouTube, people walking out of the theater talking about how sick they are, woman shaking about her head spun around. Fucking mindless fools. We're too educated today. We've seen too much. Nothing impresses us now. Back then, you could have shown them a CGI dinosaur and they would have fucking went berserk. CGI. Imagine CGI for them back then. The internet killed us. It killed us.
Number 4.
sleep. A movie that I didn't expect. I didn't know I wanted until I was watching it, and I sincerely thought they were going to avoid the attachment to The Shining. And they don't. And they intertwine things very masterfully and manage to tell their own story, divorced of The Shining, while still, reminding you that, this is still the same universe. This is where the same things happened. There are this group of people that have certain capabilities, and, if it were titled something else, if it were a different universe, it would still be quite an interesting story. And then you get to the third act, and what's her tits from Mission Impossible? I didn't realize she could play mean really well, but she could play mean really well. And it was, I don't know, I geeked out looking at all the Overlook shit again. I don't know, does that get extra points, I guess?
Number 3.
My favorite Exorcist film is Exorcist 3. Good old Chucky, the voice of Chucky, Brad Dourif, being as Brad Dourif-y as possible. And by that, I don't mean the stuttery one, because we have another theme tonight with One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. But no, Brad Dourif was absolutely haunting in this movie. Kids today will call this slow, dumb, nothing happens, whatever, but that is tension. Yeah, it draws so much tension. There is so much, you're at the edge of your seat waiting for something to happen. Perhaps the best jump scare in the history of horror, in my humble opinion, and a great camera movement at that, is in Exorcist 3, where you're just lulled into this thought process that, all right, nothing's happening, we're just kind of killing time because this movie's fucking boring me out of my skull. Holy shit, what the fuck is that? And nothing's the same. But this connects to one quite smoothly. And again, I think it's scarier. I think that the conversation in that, I don't think it's a sell, just the exchange there. It's a slow burn. It takes a while. It's tense as fuck, though. You have George C. Scott nearing the end of his acting career. He's kind of chewing some scenery a little bit, it seems. Somebody put a little too much cocaine in his coffee on some shoot days. All right, we get it. You're pissed. Tone it down a step there. Kids might watch The Exorcist 3 and say, Granddad, this movie sucks ass. Let's watch it Insidious to the final key. And then I will go ahead and jump out a window and fall down the Exorcist stairs.
Number 2.
And this one shot up like super high for me because I saw it as a kid when it came out and didn't think anything of it as a kid because I'd seen so much different shit as a child, and scary movies, like if there was stuff I wasn't allowed to see, I kind of held it in a higher regard. But Poltergeist, holy fuck, simple enough, and with all the rumors that Steven Spielberg technically ghost directed this movie, it's a well-made movie. Not to take anything away from Tobe Hooper if he did indeed direct this movie, but wow, this the same year that E.T. came out too. There's just it's something about this movie where you're with the family, you understand their relationship, even though the parents are fucking no good potheads while their kids are trying to sleep. Kids afraid of a goddamn tree. little girl wants to bury a goddamn bird in a box and get a goldfish. That thing's going to die in seconds. Hold on, let me talk about this for a second. The daughter, who is of school age in the movie, because she leaves the house in the morning to go to school, does a weird dancey thing for the guys building the pool, and they're into it, and they're a construction worker woohooing her, and she's kind of giving them the business, but then she gives them the finger, and you can't shoot any of that scene today, and I don't know what the fuck they were thinking then to begin with. And why the fuck is the mom smiling during all that? Each and every one of those people would be fired. I don't know, it could be 1936 as they would have been fired. I just don't understand that. Regardless, even with the perceived TOS stuff happening in Poltergeist, the movie really, plays into the belief and skepticism extremely well. You have a bunch of different characters that are, some are believers, some are skeptics. They're trying to figure out if maybe the family's trying to make a quick buck and capitalize on things, which I think was covered a tad bit better, or maybe exploited a bit in Poltergeist 2015, but I digest. And as the movie moves forward, you start to believe. People start getting wowed. You can tell a movie is really, really fantastic when you're seeing something that you don't believe, and the actors have that same expression on their face. There are moments in the Poltergeist where things are happening, and every single actor in the scene has their face washed over like they're witnessing, I don't know, the either the greatest or worst, most awe-inspiring thing ever. And it really helps you buy in to what's going on with the movie. And then for the third act, shit just takes a left-hand turn, and you get some scares, and I just an all-around. There's three phases of this movie: Act 1, Act 2, Act 3. They're all different types of movies. If anything, maybe Tobe Hooper had a little extra to do with the third act. The skeletons in the gelatin, the skeletons in the pool was quite fucking horrifying, and Craig T. Nelson screaming at his boss. Great shit. You understood how fucking pissed he was. And the whole town had to experience a house disappear, and they got their daughter back. Spoiler.
And number 1.
It's The Shining. Number 1 is The Shining. Stephen King fucking hates it. And, if you've ever watched Maximum Overdrive, all you need to say is, what the fuck does he know what he's talking about? Everything I've said about every other movie as far as tension and tone and pacing and fear and just genuine fuckery, The Shining has it. Brilliant acting. Perhaps as we find out more and more about Kubrick's directing style, he may have seriously broken olive oil in that movie. But brilliant movie. Brilliant score, brilliant cinematography. The last shot, you could still argue over what the fuck is going on in that movie, and that's what's fun. What the hell was his deal? Was he there the whole time? Was it a hallucination? Did he write a book? Can you write a book of 6,000 pages just saying all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy? Because I've been doing this creativity thing all wrong. Including right now. So there it is, the 2021 edition of 31 on 31, Unholy Terrors, as brought to you by me, Charles, aka CP. Certainly be sure and check out Cody Leach's version, Bryan Lomax's version, and Sean Chandler's version. We could be vastly different and far apart, and I would say that the one to look at, and only due to belief system, and Bryan is very outward about his having beliefs. It's very interesting to see how Bryan would rank a lot of these movies, so I'm intrigued to see what he has to say. And me, the skeptic who's just fucking... I don't believe it when a magician makes a bird disappear, so half of these movies made me angry. So, anywho, what are your rankings? Put them down below, let me know. If you enjoyed the show, helping me out with a thumb does wonders. If you'd like to see other stuff on this channel, including previous 31 on 31s, click that subscribe button, hit the bell to be notified, because I don't know, if you don't hit the bell, people don't tell you that I exist, I guess. And a very special thank you to my patrons, a very special thank you to everybody who has contributed over the past lifetime, it seems. And without you guys, sincerely, this video would not be filmed on the camera that I'm filming this on. This is a very late shot thing. I went all of 2021, right until the third week of October, without a camera apparatus. And thanks to you people and your incredible support. And thanks in large part to somebody's incredibly large kindness. We were able to move quickly and get this done. And yeah, so subscribe, because I have a hell of a lot more shit coming now that I have something to film with, and I have a backlog to hell. 1999 videos, who would like that videos, Kim Kardashian videos, I don't know, whatever the drama is going to be for 2022, it's all coming. If I can milk Halloween Kills for any more YouTube juice, maybe I'll do it on this fucker. But one last thing, if you're commenting down below, please, you can call my opinion shit, but leave each other alone. That, I think, is it. We're getting closer and closer, people. As much as we avoid it, that Hellraiser series just looms and looms and looms. Another year. Ah, shit. Did anybody ask Drum Dums if he wanted to do it? Music has stuff like the Beatles. I don't know. What's that Korean band? KY Jelly? What? TLC? Whatever they're...
BTS?
What?
BTS?
DTF?
BTS.
Yeah, like the Korean band DTF, or
like behind the scenes, BTS.
Yeah, you're stepping on my joke. DTF stands for down to fuck. So music had those, like BTS, the actual name of the group, not my joke names, BJ9 or fucking whatever else I want to say.
All right. I'll put it